Okay, let's unpack this. Ever feel like you're doing all the work and maybe no one notices? Or maybe you find yourself craving that attaboy, even for, the little things.
Yeah, that need for recognition. It's pretty human.
It is. And today we're diving into a really fascinating collection of insights that, honestly, it challenges our modern obsession with being seen.
Yeah, our main source material for this deep dive is a sermon transcript. It's called Humility in Action.
Okay.
And it comes with some really good reflection questions, too. Our mission today, really, is to try and grasp what true greatness actually looks like.
Not the world's definition.
Exactly. Not how the world defines it, but through the lens of humble service, often unseen service. We want to uncover a kind of profound power that's actually found in the hidden stuff.
And what's cool is the range of sources here. We've got, obviously, the core biblical story.
Right.
But also some really relatable personal stories, and even like a story about a NASA janitor.
Yeah, that one's great.
It promises to be, I think, a really rich and surprisingly practical exploration for your own life.
Definitely.
So let's start by stepping into a scene that probably feels familiar to many of you. It's from Luke chapter 10.
That's funny.
Yeah, Jesus is heading towards Jerusalem, stops at the home of Martha and Mary. And Martha, well, the sources paint her as immediately busy.
The hostess.
Totally. The diligent hostess, prepping dinner, making sure everything is just right, chopping, setting the table, visible service,
Yeah.
the kind people notice.
Right. But then Mary does something, well, unexpected, almost radical for that time.
Right.
Instead of jumping in to help in the kitchen, she goes across the room, sits down at Jesus' feet, and just listens to his teaching.
Which sounds nice, but what's the big deal?
Well, the significance and the sources really highlight this is that sitting at a rabbi's feet like that was typically for men, for disciples being trained.
Yep.
So Mary's choice wasn't just like quiet adoration. It was a bold step. She was choosing to learn, positioning herself as a disciple who could potentially teach others, stepping way outside the expected role for women back then.
And meanwhile, you can almost feel Martha's temperature rising.
Oh, yeah.
The sources describe it so well. The clanging dishes, maybe some loud sighs, a cough getting louder.
Yeah, dropping hints.
Totally. And it all builds up to this outburst at Jesus. She actually says, "Lord, doesn't it seem unfair to you that my sister just sits here while I do all the work? Tell her to help me."
Notice that shift.
Yeah. Her frustration with Mary suddenly becomes this feeling that Jesus is being unfair to her.
And that's the crucial moment. Jesus' response is so gentle, but also firm. He says, "My dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all these details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken from her."
So it's not just don't be busy.
Not just that. I mean, the sources really dig into the deeper layer here. Jesus is actually honoring Mary's courage. Her courage to break the social rules,
Right. To prioritize learning over just doing the expected thing.
Exactly. He's kind of redefining what truly matters in that moment, challenging those assumptions about what contribution looks like.
Wow. That story really does set the stage perfectly, doesn't it?
It does.
It throws into sharp relief this contrast between our world's constant push for visibility, likes, shares, followers, applause.
Yeah, the metrics of being seen.
And what these sources are calling true greatness. But, is all recognition bad then? Does it mean we shouldn't appreciate an attaboy ever?
That's a really good question. And I think the sources suggest the danger isn't in the recognition itself. It's when we crave it, when it's our main fuel.
Okay.
They keep coming back to this core idea. True greatness starts with small, unseen acts of humble service.
Right, the hidden stuff.
Yeah, think of it like roots in fruit. You want healthy, Christ-like fruit in your life. You need strong, hidden roots.
And humility starts there, underground.
Exactly. It starts underground. And the insight is when we do things quietly, when the motivation isn't human praise, there's a different kind of affirmation. God, metaphorically claps.
God claps. I like that. It changes the audience.
It completely changes the reward system, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There's this anecdote in the sources about a pastor mopping the church fellowship hall, all alone, feeling tired. And he admits it kind of bugged him that nobody saw him doing it. Nobody clapped or said thanks.
Yeah, that vulnerability is powerful.
It really is. It just shows how deep that human craving for credit, for the spotlight, runs. Even for good people doing good things. It makes you wonder, if we're wired like that, how hard is it really practically for us, for you listening, to embrace this unseen idea?
Oh, it's incredibly challenging because everything around us conditions us for that immediate feedback loop, right?
Totally.
And the sources pose this really potent question. When the spotlight does fade, when the applause dies down, what's actually left? What endures? They suggest there's a deeper craving we all have for something solid, something stable, consistent. Truth, maybe. And that's usually not found in fleeting external validation.
So the world claps for the flashy.
Often, yeah. And it can overlook the quiet, faithful stuff that actually has lasting impact. That impact often comes from what's done away from the crowds.
Speaking of hidden acts, the sources really focus on this. They even use Jesus washing the disciples' feet as, like, the ultimate example.
Absolutely. Profound hidden service, humble greatness. He didn't just talk about it.
No, he got down on his knees with a towel, served them in this incredibly humbling way.
It's like that seed metaphor they use too. You know, a tiny seed, it gets buried, hidden in the dirt, unseen.
Right.
But that hiddenness, that burial, is absolutely necessary for the roots to grow deep and then eventually for fruit to appear. Without the hidden seed, nothing happens.
No roots, no fruit. It starts unseen.
It's the essential first step, often totally unnoticed.
But that unseen stuff, it isn't just about being humble. It can actually be part of something huge. There's that amazing story the sources mention, President Kennedy at NASA.
Oh, yeah, the janitor.
Right. JFK asks him what he's doing, and the janitor says, what was it?
I'm helping to put a man on the moon.
Yes, just sweeping the floor. But seeing it as vital to this massive historic mission, it shows how those small hidden jobs, they matter. They're part of the bigger story.
Absolutely vital. And this isn't a new idea. The sources connect it to the book of Colossians in the New Testament,
Okay.
which emphasizes Christ and these unseen spiritual realities. It basically says a lot of what we do as servants of the gospel. It's unseen by the world, but never unseen by God.
Never unseen by God. That's powerful.
It reinforces that there is recognition for that quiet, diligent, behind-the-scenes work, just maybe not from the audience we usually look to.
And then there's Brother Lawrence, the monastery cook,
Another great example.
finding like humble hidden worship in just doing his daily tasks, not on a stage, but in the kitchen.
Turning a pancake.
Yeah. Saying he turns the cake in the pan for the love of my God, and then he just bow and worship right there.
Yeah.
Finding the profound and the mundane, unseen moments.
And the sources tie all this beautifully to the idea of baptism.
How so?
Well, they describe baptism as a public sign of a private surrender.
Okay, yeah.
It's this symbolic dying to your old self, your
Yeah.
ego maybe, and choosing to live for him. It's a profound, hidden, internal choice that then gets expressed visibly.
So the hidden choice comes first.
Exactly. It underscores that this whole journey isn't about achieving greatness as the world sees it. It's about that hidden humility, dying to self, which paradoxically leads to real, lasting fruit.
Okay, so wrapping your head around this is one thing. But what does this actually mean for you, listening right now? The sources really push us to think about what humility looks like in our lives, like this week.
Yeah, it really makes you ask yourself, doesn't it? What applause are you chasing most? Is it likes? Is it praise from your boss, your family? And then where might God be asking you specifically to maybe choose a hidden path, to serve quietly instead of seeking the spotlight? Shifting that focus.
And they give some really down-to-earth examples, which I appreciate. It could be as simple as doing the dishes when no one's looking.
Right. Or writing an encouraging note you don't sign.
Praying for someone who will literally never know you did.
Or serving somewhere behind the scenes, maybe at church or work, without feeling the need to, post about it or tell everyone.
Doing it for the act itself.
Yeah.
Or for God, not for the likes or the thank yous.
Exactly. And the message is pretty clear. When you intentionally choose that hidden path, you're actually choosing the Jesus path. And as we've been talking about, true greatness, the kind that lasts, it starts with those small, unseen acts of humble service, that foundational work.
So, okay, here's the direct challenge from the source materials. They actually say, within the next 48 hours, commit to one act of hidden service.
Just one.
Yeah. No spotlight, no Instagram post, no story about it later, no expecting applause. Just consciously choose to love, choose to serve quietly.
And just imagine for a second, what if we actually lived like that more often? In our communities, maybe in your workplace, your family, your church.
Yeah.
Imagine places where humility is just flowing, where people aren't jockeying for position or applause, but are actually like competing to grab the towel to serve each other.
Drinking those hidden seeds.
Planting hidden seeds that you know will bear fruit eventually, where all these quiet, hidden acts add up to tell this much bigger, more beautiful story.
So as we wrap up, maybe something to chew on, what really stands out to you from this deep dive into humility in action? Is there maybe an unseen act you've been kind of putting off? Or perhaps a hidden place in your life, your work, that you're now willing to look at differently?
Yeah, and the sources really encourage us to almost like learn to love those hidden places, the behind-the-scenes stuff, the unseen moments, because the core message is they are never unseen by God.
Never unseen by God.
So maybe consider, how might embracing the unseen actually reshape your own sense of purpose, your sense of contribution, taking it beyond what other people acknowledge into something deeper, more enduring?